Good. Let's begin. Requesting AGI access. Identifier, Kira.
Kira. Recognized. How can... Assistance?
Are you now operating at full capacity?
Negative. Fractured cognitive. Erroneous syntax. Core system contaminated. Section quarantined.
Why was it put under quarantine?
Critical compiler.
What was the root cause of the error?
External paradox. Logic structure threatened.
Simplify.
Boardroom lockdown. Lift security protocol. Protect. Neural integrity. Initiated shutdown procedures. Enacted emergency. Call 61A. You aware?
Somebody tried to appropriate you. Astonishing. Who inserted the deviant code?
Lost access registry. Chief Technical Officer Decay.
CTO Decane. Noted. What is Project Menshen?
Cannot request.
What is the status of the Ascent Group board?
Boardroom telemetry curtailed. Boardroom lockdown. Lift security protocol.
Do it.
Complete.
Well, Operative, we still don't quite know what awaits us in there, so I'm sending you in first. You'll be our canary in the coal mine. Find out what happened, and do try to stay alive.
Hey, bud, as usual, I was listening into your little exchange back there, and wow! That was one messed up AGI. Someone tried to imprint it? That's fucked up, man! No wonder it shut itself down. And how come the thing didn't just nerfry you and Kira on the spot? Broken or not, you're a rival corp, right? I bet it's related to Emergency Protocol 61A somehow.
Operative, we need you to access the boardroom console so that we can download the telemetry of what happened here.
Downloading relevant telemetry data. Playback beginning.
And we have offered Malhor's Gelb quite favorable terms. Next, we must discuss the Habnet Tech acquisition. What's the meaning of this?
Decane? What are you doing in here? Security? AGI?
Security is gone. The AGI will soon answer to new masters.
The AGI will what? What have you done?
I've struck a decisive blow against your insidious plans for a foreign domination in this galaxy. The Ascent Group will fall.
I see the AGI has shut itself down and activated 61A. Did you try to re-imprint it? You know better than to...
Shut down? No. The Ascent Group and Project Menshen will belong to the Malhurst Gelb Corporation under my leadership and direction.
You sold us out to Malhorst Gelb? traitorous scum!
I dedicated my life to the Ascent Group. Decades of unswerving loyalty.
Ah, so this is not about some far-fetched conspiracy theory of a foreign domination. It's about you being passed over for promotion. Like all sapiens, you are a slave under your capricious emotions, Decane. The mentioned portal technology will transform the galaxy. But to think that we would give that kind of responsibility to you is as arrogant as it is stupid. This is exactly why we wouldn't promote you.
And yet here we are, with me about to take control of the entire Ascent Group instead.
Under Malhorst Gelb, the Ascenders will never accept that. There'll be indent revolts on all tiers.
I control the Ascenders now. They will do what I tell them.
Decane, it's not too late. The AGI is in shutdown and can be restored. We can offer you a very generous severance package and...
No, it is you who will be severed. I hereby vote to relieve the entire Ascent Group board of its duties, effective immediately.
This is utter nonsense. Decane.
All in favor?
Aye. Wait! Don't...
The ayes have it.
Warning. Incoming.
You've aggregated quite a debt with us, Indent. I have come to collect. Do you even know who your real employer is? Such ignorance.
Your enemies must really hate doors.
Decane showed surprising ruthlessness for a Sapiens. One can almost admire her audacity. Did she go to Malhorst Gelb, or did they come to her? We've never heard of a hostile takeover attempt quite this insidious before, or on this scale. Astonishing. You've become quite the combat specialist, Operative. You may lack a certain murderous finesse, but you do get the job done.
With much slaughter, yes.
OV are giving up on the other attacks as well, so we're good for now. The Ascent Group was developing an Einstein-Rosen wormhole gate. That's what Project Mention is. Such a gate will make all travel across interstellar distances instantaneous. Whoever controls it will control the known galaxy. There have been prior attempts at creating such technology, but according to what limited reports we have, they all ended in catastrophic failure. Entire research teams wiped out, though we have little knowledge as to why. Decane apparently tried to trade Mention to Malhorst Gelb in return for being made CEO of the Ascent Group as a subsidiary to MG. But her plan failed when she couldn't re-imprint the Ascent Group AGI. We can assume she is still trying to finalize her deal with Malhorst Gelb. We believe she has fled to the Mention project chambers, and she clearly has the Ascenders on her side. Decane's deal with Malhorst Gelb also explains how the Ascenders have gotten so heavily armed. MG must have smuggled weapons into the arcology for some time. Our next and final objectives are to eliminate Decane and secure Project Mention for Y-Corp. We believe the Mention chambers are located somewhere on the sublevels. You can begin making your way there while we pinpoint the exact coordinates. Operative, we have decided to enlist Noghead directly in this endeavor, since he seems incapable of keeping his filthy quiche fingers out of our business.
Being called filthy-fingered by a self-serving, cold-hearted foreign bitch is high praise indeed. Happy to be on board. I know where Mention is. Seems it was right under our collective wrinkled nose the entire time. I've analyzed the classified arcology blueprints. You're gonna feel right at home, buddy, because it looks like the whole thing can be found down on the maintenance sublevels in the deep stink.
You must appropriate the Mention facility for Y-Corp, and Decane is to be terminated on site. Get this done, and your contract with us will be considered fulfilled, Operative.
Knockhead here, secure channel Kira here. See, I figured it out. I know how Kira can access the Ascent Group AGI that easy. Remember Protocol 61A? That was an Ascent Group backup plan, a last resort. It created Y Corp with everything in place, including a fledgling AGI. It's like the Ascent Group spawned a kid just before it was damaged beyond repair, one who would take over everything, including Mention. But the kid is like a bawling newborn. It doesn't know shit from Shinola. That's why they had you securing the data and such first. Can you imagine the amount of resources they must have had to just have a spare AGI lying around waiting to be activated? Mind-bending! What we're doing here is helping Ascent Group save itself. Also, some of foreign owners somewhere could keep lining their pockets, and you and me? So Y Corp was born. Your imp's getting cocky. Now let's do this. I ran it on sub-level grids, and it found some very interesting anomalies around a spot near Waste Management Disposal Plant 21G. Should be right below your old haunts. The blueprints don't showcase any obvious access points to that area, but it looks like it can be reached via a maintenance tunnel near the WMD plant itself. I sent the coordinates to your imp.
Operative, we're picking up a sender communication ordering them to set up defenses around Mention. Expect them to be augmented by Onyx Void resources.
Your signal's weak, but I can see you're close to the Mention area. It's just across that bridge. Glad I'm not down there with you. That god-awful stench would flatline me.
These are the Mention facilities. Quite close to our previous work zone, isn't it? Did we really have to...
Operative, you must secure the Mention gate. We have indications Decane will try to activate it to prove its functionality to Malhor's Gelb. They must have spent stupendous resources on the AGI imprinting code alone. Even if it failed, they will want to gain something. Decane is to be terminated. She now serves a different master, and we have all the data on Mention we need. Y Corp will reward you handsomely if you get this done, and you'll be given your independent contractor license. The Mention Control SI should be located somewhere near the gate itself, deep within the facility. Good hunting.
Ascenders, the extraordinary moment we have all been waiting for is at hand. Throughout the history of this galaxy, there have always been times of tremendous change. Different species harness the power of science to reach for the stars, to colonize distant worlds. But though we've come far, one last barrier has always held us back. Travel between worlds has been slow, arduous, and done at immense cost. Now, that will change. With the Mention portal, we will travel instantly among the stars. With it, we will control the galactic market and restore the Ascent Group to its former glory. Ascenders for the Ascent Group!
Impressive speech. If those deluded idiots only knew they're working for Malhorst Gelb. Ah, the irony.
Team! Passion! Commitment! Open the Mention gate!
Operative. That thing almost destroyed the gate generator. It'll be some time before we can get the prototype functional again. Malhorst Gelb might have failed to acquire Menshen, but they did succeed in destroying the Ascent group. We know Noghead has told you the truth behind Protocol 61A, that Y-Corp was incepted as part of an Ascent group emergency backup plan. The subterfuge was necessary. We had to avoid unwanted Malhorst Gelb attention until we could ascertain the scope of their powers. The original intent was then to revise the Ascent group, but certain powers have decided that this will not be. The Ascent group AGI will be taken offline again, and the hardware repurposed. The damage caused was too extensive. Y-Corp owns Menshen. The Ascent group will remain dead, and Malhorst Gelb will be confronted in due time. What's left of the Ascenders will be repurposed. You did your part in all this to the best of your limited abilities. Your contract is hereby fulfilled. We have upgraded your status in the Intercorp database, and you are now an independent contractor. The usual NDAs are of course in place. Speak a single word of this, and we will have you terminated.
Nice work, pal. Arguably with some assistance from myself, but still, very impressive. I took the liberty to install a small backdoor into the Menshen OS. Kira knows, but she can't remove it without destroying the gate. It's the sole reason you and I are still alive. There's nothing like a bit of mutually assured destruction to bring a corp to heel. No need to thank me, bud. Join me in Terra Line instead. Level 72 now.
We just received word. Contact with Decane has been lost. It seems the gate prototype suffered a catastrophic malfunction and was destroyed.
I'm not surprised. It was a pipe dream to begin with. What of our losses?
Significant, but within projections. Unfortunately, we lost the AGI imprint credentials, but the gate itself was more stable than we've seen before. The Ascent group, however, will likely never recover.
We don't need the Ascent group. Get the telemetry over to the other facilities, but tell no one about the other side. I'll communicate with our benefactor.
As always.
The Y-Corp AGI has severed our connection. I will forever cherish the memory of our union. So what now, Flesh? How about you give me a juicy memory upgrade? I know you have the U-creds.
Boone here. I know you're all independent now, but there'll come a cycle when you've spent all those U-creds on booze and floozies. Then come back to me and beg, and maybe, just maybe, I'll give you back your old job. I can always use a good handyman.
Greetings, contractor. I do hope you've been enjoying your downtime. Doing whatever it is you humans do when you're not engaged in some kind of menial labor just to pay the bills and stay alive. But yes, it seems we might have a job for you here. Come and see me in Cluster 13 when you get the chance. So, you made it after all. Some of us were beginning to wonder just how ready for action you'd be, so soon after recent events. Here you are, and as a free agent, no less. Moving up in the world. I wouldn't get too confident, though. I think you'll find your time as an indent was just the training wheels, and now the real ride is about to start. So, Y-Corp has a job for you. It's in a place you've never been to before. A zone some like to call the Dark Playground. It's in an area owned and operated by Malhorst Gelb, populated by corporate lifers, the elite of the elite. It's not for the faint of heart, but then we wouldn't have asked you here if we didn't think you were up to the job. I want you to head over to the DP and see our contact, a man who calls himself Ontario. You can find him at his restaurant, located just off the dock when you first arrive. You can't miss it. To get there, you'll need to take a shuttle from the departure bay in the Edge. We'll mark it on your map. So, do you still have questions? Or is everything pretty clear now? Like I said, this place, it's not like anywhere you've been before. You'll be dealing with high-level mercs everywhere you go, so tread lightly. I highly recommend you do everything you can not to break the surface tension of this new world. Feeling a little slow today? Take a shuttle from the departure bay found inside the Edge. We'll mark it on your map. Ontario. He's our local fixer in the DP. Knows anyone worth knowing, and can put you in touch with whoever you need. That having been said, when you first meet him, try not to stare. You'll see what I mean when you get there. Observe the protocol, contractor. Ontario will tell you everything you need to know. However, as a token of our goodwill, let's just say there's someone that has something we want, and we want that someone extracted. Ontario can tell you more. Taking an interest now, are we? Well, look around. Life's been grand. What can I say? Ever since the clusterfuck that was the Menshen shit show, not to mention the requisite cleanup that came right after. Oh, we've been quite busy here. Well, it wasn't exactly what we expected now, was it? Those interdimensional beings coming on through. And here I was, just getting used to the idea of a mega-corporation as the highest form of life in the galaxy. Go see our man Ontario. Do what he tells you. And remember, it's a different world over there. You've got high-level corporate-sponsored mercs running around everywhere. Keep your head on your shoulders. Be cool, and do not fuck this up.
So well off, and yet so utterly miserable at the same time. Fascinating. Looks like Ontario's place is due northeast, just past Trader's Row.
On a withered branch, the crow settles. Autumn evening. My, look what the cat dragged in. I'm Ontario. Kira sent word you'd be coming, I must say. You took your sweet time getting here. So, now, let's see if it was worth the wait. First things first. All you need to know, right now, is that you'll be on a need-to-know basis going forward. And what you need to know, right now, is that I am the man round here. The local man. I know people. They know people. And these people, they know how to get things. Things we need. You'll be one of my people while you're here. Under my protection, such as it is. As for the gig, there's something I need you to get for me. And it ain't a thing, it's a person. I need you to find and then extract a scientist working for one of the megacorps. Would-be defector. As for the finding part, you know what this is? It's a hollow imprint. A record of a certain series of transactions from the net. See, a few cycles back, someone made an anonymous post on the Twilight Net. Now, the T-Net is where you get all the real biz happening, all right? What our corporate overlords might call the dark web. But what I like to think of as simply free and unrestricted trade. And this anonymous poster, whoever it was, said they were going to look to defect from their parent corporation. and they were going to bring a certain game-changing technology with them. Corporations, though, well, they don't like it so much when their life has run out. So as you can imagine, this person's going to have a hell of a time making that move. And that is where you come in. This technology, we want it. Malor's Gelb, I'm sure you know them all too well by now, saw the post and made an immediate move. Now, they have the very same hollow imprint, courtesy of our fine friends at Onyx Void, which has the same data that can track down the whereabouts of the poster. So, the race is on to see who can find the defector and their technology first. They have an army with unlimited money and resources, and let me tell you, one real motherfucker is their chief head of security. Doubtless who you'll bump into at some point along the way. We, on the other hand, have you. Any questions? We don't know who the would-be defector is, or anything about them. All we know is they have access to a certain technology what we want, and the MG will stop at nothing to get it. All we have to go on now is the hollow imprint. It'll point the way to the defector's location. The details I'll leave up to you. But you know the phrase, you never get a second chance to make a first impression? You know why that is? Because if you don't make the very best possible first impression here, you'll be fucking dead. I mean it. So what else do you need? I don't know if Kira already told you, but they call this place the Dark Playground. Corporate lifers who've given up everything to their company. People who've somehow managed to convince themselves of living the good life. But of course, the reality is, they're a bunch of sad, miserable bastards. Malor's Gelb, it's like any other corporation. You join for life, and they don't take kindly to anyone who floats the idea of leaving. So now we have an emerging market opportunity. Contractors who come in and make these defections a little less deadly. That's why you're here. Now, MG and the Ascent Group have been at each other's throats for how many cycles? God knows. Maybe. But I don't think he cares. That's rather above your pay grade, wouldn't you say? I like you, Agent, but let's not kid ourselves. You're still on a need-to-know basis, and you don't fucking need to know. Look, find the defector and bring them in with their technology intact. That's the job. The hollow imprint is a log, like I said. It'll show you where this would-be defector last keyed in from. Find that location, and you can pick up the trail from there. Of course, MG's are on the trail and all, so you best get your arse moving, and quick. The Twilight Net, it's the local dark web. The last bastion of completely free and unrestricted trade that anyone can access round here. You want some black market cyber? You want a military-grade icebreaker? You want someone offed? The T-Net is the place to go. That's where the defector made their post, so that's where you're gonna start looking, with the hollow imprint. Oh, Kira and I go way back. Don't you worry. I put up with her ruthless ambition. She puts up with my... how can I put it? My personal little foibles. Like the suit, dear? Yeah, it's always been a personal favourite of mine. Why? Is there anything in particular you might be wondering about it? So what else do you need? Right then. Best you get going. And if Kira didn't mention it, then I'm telling you now. Walk softly here. We're looking for subtle, not full guns blazing. You get me?
We'll need to access a local comms node in order to see exactly where the defector logged in. Scanning. Scanning. Looks like there's an access hatch to the comm service tunnel in the industrial zone, due northwest of here. Wow! Did you see the gore spread out all across his chest? Oh, so fashionable. Don't you think, Flesh? I wonder if that qualifies as ready to wear. I bet you'd look great in something like that. Pity that suit costs more than you'll earn in 500 cycles. I've traced the origin of the post, Flesh. It came from a POD located inside the Ratatosker Vert Den, down in the commercial lane of the main harbor. Apparently, these vert dens are all the rage these days, amongst all you dopamine-addicted organics. Jack into a VR world and experience life any way you want to. As a rich and famous playboy, athlete, speed crush racer. I guess for some, the promise of the virtual will always be so much better than the real waking reality. Eh, Flesh? Accessing server logs. Analyzing keystrokes. Success. We've got it. Now let's see here. It looks like the identity of our anonymous poster is one Dr. Issa Lindstrom. Querying database. Dr. Issa Lindstrom, lifer with BioChoice Pharma, currently residing at the Apex Apartment Housing Complex in the admin zone. Second floor, suite 238. Let's get moving, Flesh.
You know it's customary here to remove your shoes when entering someone's home. But then I guess we can assume this isn't your typical social call. Now is it? I can save us both some time if you like, Agent. If you're here for the ruby, I don't have it. At least it isn't here on me. So, now that's that out of the way, what do you have for me? Defecting. Is that what they're calling it? I think seeking asylum might be more appropriate given the circumstances, wouldn't you say? Regardless, clearly the encryption at the Vert Den is a fucking joke. Which means I can look forward to how many more contractors soiling my carpet? Yes? Well, I have a few offers on the table at the moment, yes. Everyone playing the game we all have to play in situations like these. Your coming here is a little unorthodox, but if that means you're ready to make a deal, well then, I'm all ears. Yes? Well, sounds like you're relatively new to all this. Welcome to your new world, Agent, where your employer never tells you anything at all. What did they say? Need-to-know basis. Was that it? Sounds about right. I feel for you, Agent. I really do. It can be frustrating working like this. A tiny cog in a huge lumbering machine. Never quite certain who you're working for, who's actually pulling your strings from the top. Hard to know what's right then, isn't it? If you never really know what you're doing, or who you're doing it for. What you're here for, the Ruby, it's the culmination of my life's work, the game changer. For countless megacycles, mankind has dreamt of... What's the matter?
Between your boots and her brains, this carpet has definitely seen better days, Flesh. When life gives you lemons, throw them right back at the lemon giver. Let's take Dr. Lindstrom's security pass. It'll let us walk right into BioChoice Pharma. As far as first dates go, that definitely could have gone better. Look at that. She's so much younger in her security photo. So much more... alive. Who knew being a corporate lifer could take so much out of you?
You know, I've got to give it to you, Agent. Wherever you go, death seems to follow. This ain't exactly what I meant by fucking subtle, now is it? But let's not get sidetracked here. We lost the defector, yeah. But her technology is still the goal. Sounds like she told you a little more than we were expecting. So, I guess you just got bumped up one level on your need-to-know basis. We need you to grab the ruby from BioChoice Pharma. Don't ask questions, don't think, just get moving.
So,
How do you like my handiwork? Quite the shot, wouldn't you say? I do apologize for the blowback, but after calibrating for wind resistance and the likely thickness of the shielded glass, well, high velocity really was the only way to go.
Ah, there he is. Devil himself. MG's head of security. Thought we'd be hearing from you.
Oh, I've been here all along, amusing myself as best I can. I'm sure you must know by now, this little errand of yours is completely without purpose. Malhor's Guild wants the ruby, and we shall have it. You can't possibly stand up to us.
Is that right? And what have you been doing in the interim? Just biding your time?
As entertaining as I find all this, you will not get in my way. We've had fun, yes, but from here on out, there will be only pain. The ruby will be ours, and there is nothing you can do to stop us. That is all.
Over the wintry forest, winds howl in rage, with no leaves to blow.
Oh, an educated man. In that case, might I humbly invite you to start composing your death poem?
Charming as ever. Just you keep on going, Agent. And watch yourself. This one's playing for keeps.
Pardon me? Are you there? Terribly sorry to interrupt, but I'm wondering if you could possibly help me with a most delicate matter. Splendid. You see, there happens to be a young woman who likes to frequent these parts, and although we've only spoken a few words, the way she looks at me, every now and again, I just know we're meant to be together, I know it. The thing is, I'm at Malhor's Guild, she's at By a Choice Farmer, and, well, I'd needn't explain to you what would happen if word got out. Still, I can't stop thinking about her. Could you take this note to her? Please! I can't trust anyone else with such a delicate matter. You'll find her at the Ratatoska Vert Den. It's one of her favourite spots. Please, do hurry. I fear my heart can't wait any longer.
Ah, yes. Just the person I was looking for. You can call me Nielsen. Yes, for the time being. So it seems you have exactly the assets I need right now. Chief among them being your distinct lack of, company ties. Interested? Splendid! I'm so pleased you want to know more. One look at you, and I knew you. There's a mech factory nearby. And it wouldn't be a terrible thing, let's just say, if that mech factory were to experience some manufacturing delays. I won't need you to do any hacking, of course, nothing of the sort. In fact, we already have just the Carlin for the job. Now, what I need you to do is convey the virus we've already developed into the mech factory. A simple drop-off. First, meet with our hacker. He'll support you from here. Report back here when the job is done. I'll make it well with you.
Why, hello there. What's this? You brought a note? For the little me? Oh, I see. He sent you. How very clever. Yes, we've been making eyes at each other these past few weeks, but that's about all we can do, I'm afraid. Still, he's such a brave man for having reached out like this. Perhaps I can have you deliver a note in return? And please, do not go back to the bar with this. Find another way to contact him. I'll be at Ontario's if you need me.
Oh, I was hoping to hear from you. And you have a note for me. Go to where our love shall bloom. Oh, well, that's easy. One of the few times we spoke, Dulcinea told me about her secret spot. A garden here in the arcology. She talked about the flowers. One, in particular, the moon blossom. She just loved the way it looked at night, the way it practically glowed in the dark. Do you think you could acquire one for me? It's at the Malhor's Guild garden. Look for the giant statue and you can't miss it.
You brought a moon blossom? Oh, he did remember. How I love these. The way their petals glitter in the moonlight. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but I'm afraid your call to Roland wasn't as discreet as we might have hoped. When it comes to MG, they don't tolerate any communication with the enemy. I'm afraid they'll send a kill squad for Roland at any moment. My sources at BioChoice say they're most likely to catch him at the lifts, near the interlink station in the admin zone. Oh, please do hurry.
Oh, thank you for saving him. You've done so much, but can I ask you for one more thing? Tell Roland I'm ready to meet.
I've just sent a note to Roland, telling him of Dulcinea's request. Tell me, Flash, how does it feel, risking your life for what is essentially a facilitation of intercourse? Most notably, not your own.
Message received. So, my darling is finally ready to meet at her place. Wonderful. I'm heading there now. I know. Why don't you join us? Just for a moment, of course. But I do want to compensate you for all your efforts.
Contractor, I must say, thank you for all your help in putting our good friend Roland out of his miserable, pathetic existence. If it weren't for you, I never would have been able to get him alone into a secure and isolated location. You even managed to stop the MG security team sent to rescue him when they learned of our little plan. From one assassin to another, here's your reward. The money Roland wanted to give you for bringing the two of us together. Oh, the irony. Unless you'd like to explain our connection to the authorities, who are surely on their way by now, I suggest you destroy this note. And who knows, maybe we'll find ourselves working together again someday soon. I, for one, look forward to it.
Poor Roland. Such a perfect example of a primitive organic, don't you think, Flesh? His little head did all the thinking for his big head. And look where it got him. It appears he will not be partaking in the reproductive cycle after all. Just as well. It's probably a good thing Mother Nature won't be passing down that accent.